Hey everybody, Scoutcrafter here again. The other day we did that baling wire video, and I was talking about people parking in my driveway. And if you come from a civilized area, you have no idea what I'm talking about, or why would people park in your driveway. But let me show you what we have to deal with here in a big city. Now here is the street I live on, and you can see here that every spot is possibly taken except for here where our driveways are. And then you have more cars going down, but there's only spots available where there is a driveway. Now, what you're looking at here are buildings that were built across the street from me. If you look at the streets, there's no cars on the streets because they don't allow any cars on the streets. And since there's more than one or two families, there's so many cars that there's overflow. And that's why they park 2 blocks away, which is my block. And that's why we run into the problems what we do. You can see every spot, even crosswalks, which are illegal to block. They block, and you can see right here my neighbor's driveway. Here's a car here parked right in front. Now, what do you say we go back in time and I show you what things used to be like when I was younger? Now, to get an idea of what things used to look like, we got to go back in time. And to do that, we're going to go back via the 35mm slide. Do you remember these? These were old-time slides that we used to take. Instead of photographs, you would get these in slides, and that's the old projector. And I would go upstairs and put them on the wall, and let's go back and see what we have now. The year is the early 70s, and the parade used to come in front of my house. And you could see that's exactly in front of my house, and across the street you could see there was nothing there. And that's why the parking was never a problem around here. Yeah, I mean, you could have a party and 50 people could come and park across the street, but you know, things have changed. They built those huge buildings, and now everything's different. And there was my crew, and I didn't have a problem because with my vehicle I was able to pretty much park where I wanted. So you could see the overpopulation of the neighborhood led to a bad parking environment here, and people would just say the heck with it and park in other people's driveways, and that's why we led to, and you can't let them off easy. You know, if you put a note on their car and say, please don't park here again, that's like they consider that a weakness, and they laugh at you and will park there again. You have to, you know, take things into your own hands because they know they can get away with it. But let's see what project we have today. I have something pretty interesting. For today's project, my neighbors upstate finally moved. They went to Florida. One of the last things they gave me as they left was this antique fire extinguisher they had sitting in their house for 37 years. And they said they wanted me to have it. But what it is, you can see it's a soda acid antique fire extinguisher. And how it worked was there was a little bottle. If you unscrew this top part, there's a little bottle in here that sits in a cage, and you would fill it with sulfuric acid. And then you would fill this up to here with baking soda, sodium bicarbonate, and water mixture. And it would just stay like that. When you had a fire, you would turn this upside down. There was a handle under here you could see. And you would turn it upside down, grab it by the handle, and then it would, spray the carbon dioxide or carbon dioxide mixture out and extinguish the flame. They worked really well, and you could still probably charge this one up, but the hose is a little bit rough. Anyway, I'm just want to clean up the outside now because this is a high pressure brass vessel. I'm sure that this is a harder brass because it was probably drawn through a die. It's probably a harder brass than your normal belt buckle or something like that, so I can use something a little bit more abrasive to get down to the shiny brass that we want. So let's go over to the slop sink and see what we can do. Now, there are so many different ways to clean brass or any kind of tarnish or patina to get off of there. And so one of them, look at this, nice vintage DuPont number 7 chrome polish. Love that old-timey can. Anyway, you can use this or an old Brillo pad. Anything will get it off. But and then depending on how much scratches you want to leave behind, you know, you want to use something finer. You could use Noxon, or if like my buddy 357 Magdad, I could take a big container of Flitz and a Dremel and do the whole thing. Now we're going to just take a little bit of. We're going to try the Brillo pad and just take a small section here in the back and the rear. And just do an area and see how long it takes to get down to a shiny material. Now, you know, brass will scratch a little bit, but you can always polish that out with a finer abrasive. So we just want to see how we can get this, if we can get it down to a shiny luster quick. And you can see this is doing a nice job. You see I'm doing this in real time. And then you see what that looks like. And that looks good. So we'll try and do pretty much the whole thing like that. Okay, now here's the top layer of tarnish removed and patina. And we even got the hose looking pretty good. You could see now that was done with just the Brillo and some Comet. Again, as an abrasive. But, you know, you'll see this little... Now, this is where you would polish it. You would take the polish at this point and get it to a nice luster. But you'll see there's a little bit of green that comes in here. And let's talk about green. You know, I live real close to the Statue of Liberty. I'm a big fan of the Statue of Liberty. And, you know, when we talk about patina, let's talk about the Statue of Liberty for a minute. Okay, the year is 1886. France is celebrating the United States centennial with a gift, the Statue of Liberty. And what they did is they built this beautiful statue. They broke it down into 350 pieces and shipped it over in 214 crates. Now, it's a beautiful statue, and it's made of copper, and the copper skin on there is less than 2 pennies thick, 3/32. And they ship it over, and they put it on this island. It was originally Bedloe Island, now renamed Liberty Island, and that star-shaped base was actually Fort Wood. And there's so much to talk about this Statue of Liberty. Even the torch alone is just fascinating. The original torch lasted for 100 years, and then after 100 years, they took it down and replaced it with a new torch because it was leaking and whatnot. And the new torch is 24-karat gold-covered copper. And there's beautiful statistics about the Statue of Liberty all over online. But my question to you is, this is what it looked like originally. You see to the left, that's originally unrestored. And now with the green, that's patina. Which one do you like better? And who remembers this iconic scene and what movie it was from? And we polished it up, and we're calling this done. You can see here we did the top in a cobalt blue. What's funny is my girlfriend says, you know, that would have looked nice in red, of all things, right? But it just turns out that this was actually the color of the original, was cobalt blue on the top. Polished it out. It looks real nice now. It's got, you know, a lustery finish, you know, not quite mirror, but that's the way that this would have looked brand new, you know, and they were good looking fire extinguishers, weren't they? I mean, you can hang that in anywhere and it will brighten up the room. You know, so on the back here, there's this little lip here, and that's how they would hang it. So I made a little hanger here out of some mild steel, and you could see that you would screw that to the wall and this would just hang on here. And it has to be pretty heavy duty because when this is filled with fluid, I'm sure it weighed a little bit. So this will hold any weight that I could fill in there. We're done with this, and hope you enjoyed this project. And I'd like to hear your thoughts, any special stories you have on the Statue of Liberty. All right, have a nice day. Take care now. Bye-bye.